Hey creatives, today I'm just going to show you just some of the basic edits I do in Adobe Lightroom before sending a photo to Photoshop. So here I brought up an image in Adobe Lightroom from my last photo shoot. So let me do a quick reset here. On the left is before, right is the after. So I'm going to go through adjust a few things like clarity, vibrance, shadows, blacks, contrast, and possibly temperature to warm it up just a little bit. So there you go. Usually when I do clarity, I usually bring it around, usually between 17 to 22. I don't want too much clarity because then it starts adding a lot of unnecessary noise and sharpness to the image. Vibrance, I very rarely go past 10 or 15. It really depends on the image in and of itself, but 10 is a good average for me. I want the colors to look vibrant, but not overly saturated or fake. Contrast, on the other hand, I try to stay around, let's see, around 15. Sometimes less, sometimes more. Depends on the image and whether or not it's going to be color or black and white. But since this one's going to be color, I'm just going to stick with around 14. That way I have to keep playing with the slider to get it to 15 or not. One extra point isn't going to kill me, honestly. I try to lighten the shadows a little bit. It really depends on the image and how much shadows actually need to lighten. But when I lighten the shadows, I also lose a little bit of black, so I usually have to adjust black to bring the blacks where they need to be. I don't want to go too far because then it literally darkens everything a little bit too much. Then sometimes if the image needs warmed up, I'll warm it up a little. I'm thinking this one doesn't need a whole lot warmed up, at least in my opinion. Then usually at this point, if it's a portrait, I'll go through and I'll soften the skin. Usually at this point, I keep the flow fairly low. Sorry for the bad rhyming there. I still want the person's skin to look, smooth, but not so smooth to where they start looking like a mannequin or some sort of weird porcelain doll. So I'm just going to go through, do some quick brushing here on the skin. I know my technique is horrible. I'm using a mouse right now. My tablet is no longer working. So this is going to be choppy at best. But I'm just doing this video to give you an idea on what I do for my basic edits. So at which point I am done with Adobe Lightroom, and then I send a picture into Photoshop for more detailed work. Usually so I can work on eyes, maybe some spot coloring, or if I convert to black and white, I always do that in Photoshop. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have for this image. If you have any questions on some of the other stuff I do, or if you want to see more stuff like this, just let me know. Thanks.